This is a depiction of a Chapter 7 meeting of creditors where all of the parties are prepared in advance.
Good afternoon. Calling case number 12-56296, Joanne Taylor. And your name, please?
Joanne Taylor.
And Joanne, my name is Harold Goldberg, and I'm the Chapter 7 trustee appointed in your case. May I have the appearance of counsel, please?
Laura Harris Courage for the petitioner who is present.
Okay. Ms. Taylor, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Put your hand down. Could you state for the record, please, your full name and address?
Joanne Taylor, 6 Copeland Ave in Syracuse, New York.
Do you have with you your Social Security card and driver's
Yes.
license or other proof? I'm examining the driver's license and also the Social Security card. And they match the numbers on the petition. Thank you very much. I have some required questions to ask of you. Before you signed your petition, did you read through all of the documents in their entirety?
Yes.
And did you sign the schedules after you had read them?
Yes.
Now, before you signed them, did everything that appeared in the schedules and the petitions appear to be correct and accurate?
Yes.
Did everything appear to be truthful to you?
Yes.
Did you notice whether or not there were any errors or omissions that were not corrected, if there were any?
No.
Did you list any, did you list all of your creditors?
Yes.
And did you list all of your debtors?
Yes.
And if you have any, and did you list all of your assets?
Yes.
Is this the first time that you filed bankruptcy?
Yes, thank God.
Do you have any child support or domestic obligations?
No.
Have you read the bankruptcy information sheet that was provided by the U.S. Trustee's Office? You may have received a copy from your attorney originally,
Yes.
but you have read it again today?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And I also want to note for the record that I have reviewed the recorded deed, the mortgage to your property, the titles to your vehicle, and your tax returns, which your attorney has provided to me, and all appear to be in order. And I'm going to return to you at this time your tax returns. I noticed that according to your tax return, you received a rather large tax refund last year. Do you remember what you did with the money?
I just paid bills with it.
Do you remember what kind of bills you paid?
I paid my mortgage, I paid my car payment, paid my insurance, bought some clothes.
Are your earnings this year about the same as they were last year?
Yes.
And do you expect to receive about the same amount in your next tax refund as you did this year?
Probably yes.
You also list in your petitions that there's a mortgage on your property and a car loan. Are you current with payments on each of them?
Yes.
Do you intend to retain that property and
Yes.
keep it and to maintain those payments?
Yes.
Other than the property that you listed, which is primarily the car loan and the mortgage, have you owned any real estate in the past 6 years?
No.
Have you transferred any property or anything of value to anyone for less than it was worth?
No.
That would be within the last 6 years?
Right.
Same answer is the same. And I notice also in reviewing your schedules that you have a great amount of medical bills. Is that a result of any claim that you may have against anybody, such as a car accident or a fall down or a malpractice case or anything of that nature?
No.
Are you suing anyone now for any reason whatsoever?
No.
No lawsuits pending. Do you know whether or not you're entitled to any inheritance as a result of someone's death that may have occurred recently?
No.
And I also must caution you that if someone should pass away within the next 6 months and you receive an inheritance, you must notify your counsel immediately so that she can get in touch with me.
Okay.
And have you lived in New York State continuously for the past 2 years?
Yes.
That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thanks.
This is a depiction of a Chapter 13 meeting of creditors where all of the parties are properly prepared in advance.
Good afternoon. I'm calling case number 12-56293, Jane Smith. Are you Ms. Smith?
Yes.
I'm going to turn on this. It's going to be recorded, so I'm turning on this machine. Please keep your voice up so that we can hear you and it's properly recorded. My name is Harold Goldberg. I am acting today as your Chapter 13 trustee. Can you note for the record, please, your full name and address?
It's Jane Smith at 525 Frederick Street in Syracuse, New York.
And I note for the record the appearance of Laura Harris Courage as your counsel in these proceedings, who is representing you here today. Could you please raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. I know for the record that I need to review your Social Security card and driver's license. Did you bring those with you today?
I did.
Thank you very much. The ID and Social Security numbers, and those match those in the petition, which I am returning to you. Thank you very much. And I have some required questions to ask you. Did you review your petitions and schedules fully before you signed them?
Yes.
When you signed your petition and the schedules, did everything appear to be truthful and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Did you notice whether or not there were any errors or omissions?
No.
Did you list all of your creditors?
Yes.
Did you list all of your assets?
Yes.
Is this the first time that you filed bankruptcy?
Yes.
At this time, do you have any outstanding domestic support obligations, such as child support?
No.
And I know for the record that I have reviewed documents that your attorney has provided me, consisting of your deed and mortgage, the titles to your vehicles, and your tax returns. Have you filed all of your tax returns?
Yes.
Right, and I have reviewed those, and I'm returning them to you at this time. I note in your petition that you list the mortgage and car loan. Are you current with your payments since you have filed this bankruptcy petition?
Yes.
And I note also that you have a furniture obligation which is secured, and you're paying that through the plan. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Have you stopped all payments to that creditor since you filed bankruptcy?
Yes, I have.
I also noticed that you have certain student loans. Are you aware of the fact that those loans are non-dischargeable in these proceedings? That any balance that may be owed at the conclusion of these proceedings will still be an obligation you owe on those student loans?
Yes.
Are you aware of the fact, or has your attorney in fact advised you, that if you should receive a tax refund, any tax refund in excess of $1,500 has to be turned over to the trustee?
Yes.
Basically, you keep the first $1,500. Have you started making your payments under the plan?
Yes, I have.
Good, thank you. And do you want these payments to be paid directly by you to the trustee's office, or do you wish to have it in the form of a payroll deduction?
Payroll deduction, please.
All right, we have no problem with that. We do have the information as to your employer. We will advise them to commence the payroll deduction. Unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't happen automatically. It may take several weeks. It may in fact take a month or more before, excuse me, before that payroll deduction comes out of your pay. So it's your obligation to continue making payments. When you see that the money is starting to come out of your paycheck, you can stop sending direct payments to us.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I have at this point in time. Do you have any questions of me?
I don't think so, no? No?
Good luck to you, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
This is a depiction of a meeting of creditors where the debtor should have never filed the bankruptcy. I'm going to find it.
I'm calling case number 12-56388, Denise Parker, debtor. Are you Ms. Parker?
Yes, I am.
All right. Ms. Parker, my name is Harold Goldberg, and I am the Chapter 7 trustee that has been appointed in your case. I also note an appearance. Are you a creditor?
Yes, I am.
And could you note your appearance, please, for the record as to your name and who you represent?
My name is Rachel Nelson, and I represent Morgan Federal Credit Union.
Okay. And Ms. Parker, you are here representing yourself today?
That is correct.
You filed this petition as what we call a pro se debtor?
Yes, that is
And you
correct.
did not have an attorney?
No, I did not.
You were representing yourself?
Yes.
Before we start, because this is a proceeding in which you're representing yourself, I have a form which must be filled out. It's rather lengthy, but rather than take up everybody's time today, I'm going to hand it to you now. And at the conclusion of this meeting, I would request that you go in the back of the room, or there's another room next door. Please fill it out and return it fully completed to me as soon as you are finished.
I don't understand. No one else had to do this.
Well, back on the record, case number 12-56388 Denise Parker. I'm sorry that you feel that no one else had to do that, but the other people here today have been represented by counsel. You are not representing by counsel. There are special rules, and accordingly I'm going to request that you fill out that form. Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings?
I do.
All right. May I please see proof of your identification, such as a social security card, driver's license, or passport, or other evidence of your name and address?
Well, I don't have my social security card. I mean, I don't carry that around. You know, with identity theft problems, it's just not a good idea. But I do have my driver's license.
May I see your driver's license?
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. It's gonna take me a minute. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Thank you very much. I've compared the driver's license with the petition, and I note that the debtor seems to be the debtor who is described in the petition which has been filed in this court. You do not have a social security card?
Not on with me, not with me.
You do have one home?
Yes, I do.
Do you have anything else with you today, such as a W-2 or anything else that would indicate your social security number?
Well, I have my tax returns, and I've written that on there.
I'm afraid that that's not going to be sufficient. Tax returns will not suffice as proof of identity. There's two ways we can handle this. I can adjourn these proceedings, have you bring your social security card, or I continue with these proceedings and request that at the conclusion of this meeting, in addition to filling out that form, that you go up to the Social Security office and obtain proof that you have a Social Security number. If you tell them it's for bankruptcy proceedings, that's downstairs, they will get it to you pretty quickly, and you must return it to me before the end of today's meeting. Do you
Well,
understand?
yeah, I can't take any more time off, so let's do that. I'm just, this is ridiculous.
All right,
Anyway.
and at the conclusion of this meeting, you will obtain something from the Social Security Department indicating your number so that I can make certain that we've complied with the requirements of the code.
Can we continue this meeting so that I won't have to return?
Well, we may need to. The answer right now is yes. It depends on what transpires during the rest of this meeting. I know for the record that I have reviewed your driver's license as indicated, but I do notice that the address that you have on your driver's license is not the address that you listed on your petition. Could you explain that for me, please?
Well, it's public record, this bankruptcy stuff, and I don't want people to know where I live, so I put my mother's address on there.
Well, I'm afraid I must ask you to amend your petition to show your correct address. Other than that, you would have to get a court order, in effect releasing you from showing your own current address, but you would have to show circumstances to the court sufficient to enable the court to do so. So until you bring on such a motion, I'm going to direct you to amend your petition to list the correct address. Is the address on your driver's license at 123 Main Street, Utica, New York, is that your correct address?
Yes,
that's where you
my
actually live?
Yes, it is.
Do you know how to amend the paperwork?
No, I don't know how to do that. I don't have an attorney. I really don't know what I'm doing.
I wish I could help you, but I'm the trustee, and as trustee, I'm sort of in an adversarial position to you, so I'm going to recommend that you get an attorney.
I can't afford an attorney. How is a person who's filing bankruptcy supposed to afford an attorney?
Well, again, I cannot give you legal advice or answer those questions. I can only ask you certain questions that the law requires, and I have certain required questions, which I'm now going to ask you. You stated in your bankruptcy petition that you had a company in the name of Filing Bankruptcy by Yourself is Easy.com. Did they help you prepare the petition?
Yes, they're the ones that helped me prepare.
Did you pay them any money?
$700. And that's a lot less than what it would cost me to hire an attorney.
And what did they do for you for the $700?
Well, I just went online and filled out the forms.
You printed them?
Yeah, and that's what you have.
Did they give you any instructions with the forms?
Yeah, there was some writing, but I didn't have much time to look at it, so I really...
I would like you to turn over to me a copy of all documents that you received from this company, including the forms that they gave you and any instruction forms or any other materials that they may have given to you. You understand that?
Well,
That I will need to see that?
I don't know, I don't really want to do that, because see, it's really my brother-in-law's website, and he went through bankruptcy and he saw how easy it was and how much, and he's like, I could really help people and make money, so, he charges a lot less. I don't want to get him involved. Do I need to do that?
Well, let me state, first of all, that the forms you received, at least in my opinion, and from what I've seen in practice, are probably the same forms that are available free of charge on the bankruptcy court's website, so you could have obtained them from them. I'm going to need information about the company. You said it was your brother-in-law?
Yeah.
I will need his address, and I'll need the address and telephone number of the company. And I'll ask you to provide that for me at the next meeting that we have, if I have to adjourn this meeting. It may be possible that that money may have to be returned to the bankruptcy court for distribution to your creditors, because it does not appear that they have done much work nor complied with the requirements of the bankruptcy code that they have to comply with. I'm sorry if that's your brother-in-law, but I will need his address as well, and we'll get into that at a later date once I take a look at the paperwork. Now, before you filed your petitions and schedules, did you review them before you signed them?
Yes, I did.
And when you signed them and prepared them, did everything appear to be in order?
Yes.
Did there appear to be any errors or omissions?
No?
And did you list all of your creditors?
Yep.
And did you list all of your assets?
Yep.
And this is the first time, is this the first time that you filed bankruptcy?
Yes.
Do you have any domestic support obligations such as child support?
Yes.
Well, again, since you have a child support obligation that was not listed in the schedules, I have another form which I'm going to have to ask you to complete, fill out as accurately as possible, and return it to me before the conclusion of this meeting.
Well,
Do you
this
understand that?
But this is asking for my ex's, address. Why do you need that?
Well, the law requires that you list such an obligation so that I can notify any party with regards to child support. And I also noticed that you did not list that debt for child support in your petition. Can you tell us why you did not list it?
Well, it's non-dischargeable. You can't get rid of it, so there's no need to list it. And I mean, if I fill this out and give you his address, then what's going to happen to that?
Well, I can't answer that question. Again, I cannot give you legal advice, but you will need to amend your schedules before our next meeting of creditors to include that obligation for your ex-spouse for child support, along with his name and address, so that he can receive proper notification as required by the bankruptcy code.
But if he gets notice, he's going to be after me for child support.
Well, that's not an issue for this court to decide. That's, child support is outside of this court's jurisdiction. Have you read the bankruptcy information sheet that was provided to you by the U.S. Trustee's Office?
No, what's that?
Well, I have a copy, and I will give it to you now at this time, and request that you read it, either at the conclusion of this meeting, or that you read it before our next meeting, and return it to me, or at least read it, so that they know that you have read it, so you can state on the record that you have reviewed it, and you have read it. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, I sent you a letter after you filed your bankruptcy requesting a copy of the title to your vehicle, your last 2 years' tax returns, and any other documents regarding property of that nature, and I have not received them. Do you have them with you here today?
Yeah, I do. I decided I just would, save on postage and stuff, so.
I have those.
Here they
I will
are. Now,
return
those are
these
my
to you.
originals. I don't have copies.
I will return these to you as soon as I have an opportunity of making copies and reviewing them. Now, I notice also when reviewing your schedules that there is nobody that claims a lien on your 2010 Honda Civic. But you listed in your petition, at least that there's no lien holder on the title certificate that I examined.
Mhm.
But you listed on your petition that Chase Bank has a secured claim on that vehicle. How did that occur?
Well, my mom, she gave me money to go get a car, but she borrowed it from Chase.
You had no credit at that time to get a car on your own?
No, I didn't have credit. So she gave me the money, And so she said, go find a car you want. So I went out and found it. She got the money from Chase. And since I'm paying Chase back, I listed it as a secured credit.
Do you have anything in writing with regards to the loans or with regards to the money that your mother gave you to buy the car?
No, no. I mean, that's my mom. I can pay her back.
You didn't sign any security agreement or promissory note with regards to that obligation to your mother?
No, no. I can pay her back.
Did you co-sign the loan at Chase?
No.
Are you a co-signer?
No, I didn't have credit, so it's just in my mom's name.
You pay the loan though?
Yeah, I pay the loan.
Do you know if Chase intended to take a lien on that car?
No, no. My mom just said, here's the money, go get what you want, and so no, it was just an unsecured loan.
Why wasn't your mother placed on the title?
Well, I'm gonna pay her back. I mean, that's my mom.
Is it for insurance purposes, do you know?
No,
Did that have
no.
anything to do with it?
No, it's my car. I'm gonna pay her back. And I pay Chase.
You pay Chase, do you also pay for insurance on the vehicle?
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
Well, I'm going to have to tell you that I have to retain that title to that 2010 Honda Civic and the vehicle for the time being. You have my address, it's stated on the petition.
Mhm.
That car and the keys should be delivered to my office and left there. And I will let you know about what's going to transpire with that car prior to the next hearing.
Why do I need to bring... You can't take my car, it's the only car I've got.
Well,
You look,
I can
you
only...
can protect the car in bankruptcy, can't you?
Not in this situation, because in reviewing the schedules, while you may have a claim to an exemption in that vehicle, and I can't, again, advise you as to the law, as to what that exemption is, you did not claim any exemption at this point in time in the vehicle, so at this point in time, by law, that vehicle passes to me. I do not want it on the road, I do not want it destroyed. I am not certain that there is sufficient insurance or collision insurance on the vehicle to protect its interests at this time, so I am demanding that you return that vehicle and deliver it over to my office.
Well, what do I need to claim exemptions? I don't know what I'm doing.
I cannot give you legal advice, and I'm going to ask you again to consult with an attorney with regard to this matter.
Well, I'm just gonna dismiss this bankruptcy. This is not going like I understood it would. This is, you know, my brother, he got to keep his house and his cars, everything. What's going on?
Well, I assume your brother used an attorney to file bankruptcy and everything was filled out correctly, but unfortunately that's not the case. And should you at this point in time wish to object and wish to petition the court to withdraw your objection, withdraw your bankruptcy, I will be objecting to that, since there appears to be assets from which creditors can be paid. Now, I also noticed in reviewing your schedules that you received a rather large tax refund. What did you do with that refund money?
Well, most of it I paid back to my mother. Gosh, she's giving me so much.
Approximately how much was that?
About $4,000.
And within how long a period of time did it take you to pay back that $4,000?
Well, and it was from the tax refund, so I gave her $4,000.
Oh, immediately.
Yes. So that was just a couple of months ago.
Has she given you any other money to help you out?
Well, she, you know, she gives me money all the time, but I'm trying to pay her back. But, you know,
About how much do you think you owe her in addition to the money that she gave you on the vehicle?
oh, God, I don't even know. I mean, she's just giving me so much money to help me.
Can you give me a ballpark of approximately how much you think it is?
I don't know, 30,000? I don't know.
Do you have any records as to what money she gave you?
No,
When?
not really.
You think your mother has any such records?
Well, that also doesn't include the house, but, you know, that's just unsecured.
Well, we'll get into that. What's your mother's name and address, please?
It's Shirley Harris at 50 North Street in Rome, New York.
That's the same address you listed in your petition, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Do you know how much money you've paid back your mother in the last 12 months?
Well, I pay her about $300 a month. Last couple of months, I haven't been able to do that, but mostly it's been $300 a month, and then the $4,000, and yeah. So, yeah.
I note that your mother is not listed as a creditor in this bankruptcy. You do admit that you owe her money, do you not?
Yeah, I owe her money. But, you know, it's my mom, and, yeah.
Is that the reason you did not list her?
Yeah.
Because it's simply your mother?
Yeah.
Do you have any other creditors that you may not have listed in this bankruptcy?
Well, my brother-in-law, you know, he's a relative too. I owe him about $3,000. I was able to pay off around $2,000 because I won at the lottery. That was a good day.
How long ago did you pay him that $2,000?
Oh, that was about 6 months ago.
How much did you win in the lottery?
Maybe about 3.
Do you have any credit cards in your name?
Yeah. Oh, there was one credit card that I didn't list because I only owed $100 on it, and I wanted to keep it because I get a new credit afterwards, so I just kept it. But you know what? They sent me a letter saying they were going to cut off my credit, so I'm going to list them. So yeah, that was Capital One, I think.
And your brother's full name?
Stephen Harris.
And where's his address, please?
305 State Street, New Hartford, New York. Well, why do you need all this about my family? I mean, I don't want the part of the bankruptcy. That's why I didn't put them in there.
Well, to be honest with you, your mother and your brother have both received what we call preferences in bankruptcy. Within 1 year preceding the date of your filing your bankruptcy, and as a trustee in bankruptcy, you have a duty to possibly recover that money so that it can be paid amongst all the creditor body and not just the people that you care to pay.
You can't do that. That's family. Those were just gifts. It was just a gift. It wasn't a loan. It was just all a gift. I mean, and I just gave it back. That's all it was.
I understand your position. Unfortunately, you don't understand the law. Again, I'm going to suggest that you retain an attorney because you've got some rather large problems on your hands at this point. Now, are you expecting a tax refund this year?
Yes.
Would it be approximately, has your income changed over the last year?
Well, it has been going down. Recently, but.
You think it'll be about the same as
Yeah.
as this year?
Yeah.
As the last year? I'm sorry. Well, when you file your tax refunds next year, before next April, I want a copy of those returns. And should you receive any tax refund, I'm directing you to turn over that tax refund to the office of the trustee, my office, and you will be receiving a court order directing you to do so. I'm sorry.
This is ridiculous.
I understand your confusion and your frustration, but you filed this petition, and I have to do what I have to do. Now, I also note in your petition that you listed a car loan for a 2007 Honda Odyssey, and that's with Morgan Federal Credit Union. You represent Morgan Federal
Yes, I
Credit
do.
Union? Are you current with those payments to the credit union?
I think they're current.
Is the car insured?
I think so.
You did not send me a copy of the title to that vehicle. Do you have a title?
No, after we filed, I transferred the car to my son. He's got, he's married, got 2 kids, he's not making a whole lot. He really needed a car. I had the one for my mom, and, so.
Who's making the payments and paying the insurance?
Well, he's supposed to be now, because he's got the car.
Did he give you any money for the car?
Oh, no. No, it's my son. I need to help him.
In what other way do you help?
Well, I give him a couple $100 a month, help him out.
That doesn't show up in Schedule J, which is a list of your expenditures. I'm going to have to ask you to amend Schedule J to include those funds that you pay to your son, so we can have a correct and accurate picture of what comes in and what goes out. Do you understand?
Mhm.
Thank you. What is your son's name and address, please?
John Parker, and he's at 128 Main Street in Brookline.
At this time, do you have any questions?
Yes, I do.
I'm not finished, but I'll let you take care of what you need, and I'll come back at the end after you finish your question.
Thank you. By the way, we got notice of the change in the title since we were listed as the lien holder. So I would be happy to provide you with a copy of our notice.
Thank you.
With that.
I will do that.
Your son has not been making the payments. and we are unaware of any insurance that's on the vehicle. And do you plan on making those payments?
Well, he should be making them, you know.
Well, also, our other loans, the credit union and the personal loans are also secured by the car. Do you plan on making those payments as well?
Those are unsecured. That's a credit card and a personal loan. That wasn't secured with the car.
Well, our agreements provide that any and all loans with the credit union are secured by the car. I can show you if you want, but furthermore, we have frozen your credit union account with the money that you had in the account to protect our loans.
You can't do that. That's my mom's money. There's $10,000 in
Well,
that.
we'll be filing a motion to take that money.
I understand you're gonna be filing a motion, I have no problems with a temporary freeze on the account, please make your motion as soon as possible. But that does raise an issue because I don't see that $10,000 asset listed in your bankruptcy schedules.
But it's my mom's money. She put it in there because, you know, she's not doing well, and if something happened to her, you know, I needed to have some access.
Well,
Is your name the only name on that account?
I can't remember. I don't remember.
All right, well, I'll ask you, since the account is in your possession, to send me the documents relating to the opening of the account, whether or not there are any signatories on that account, so I
Okay.
can determine who has the money.
we can offer a reaffirmation agreement where you would agree to pay back on all the loans. Otherwise, we'll close your account and take the car and the money in the account.
You can't do that. You can't. What? Just send them to me. I will sign anything. You cannot take that money. That's my mom's money.
Okay.
And you know, I love the credit union. All of them are my friends, and I just want to keep my relationship with them.
Well, here's the reaffirmation agreement. And that's all that we're gonna need at this point.
Thank goodness. I
Thank you, and you'll send me those documents
I
that
will
are
send you
requested,
those
so I can
documents,
examine.
yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, getting back to your petition, I note that you didn't list any real estate in your petition. Have you owned any property in the state of New York within the last 6 years, or anywhere else for that matter?
yeah, I own my house.
What happened to that house? You still own it?
Yeah, it's still my name.
I don't see that listed in your schedules.
Well, I don't want to lose it, and so I didn't want it part of the bankruptcy.
Do you owe any money on that house?
Yeah, my mom, I owe her about $80,000 for it.
Well, even if you intended to keep it, it should have been listed in the bankruptcy, and I'm going to direct you to amend that as well to show your ownership of that property. I will also need a copy of the deed, and I will need a copy of the mortgage on that property, as well as the tax assessment that you receive yearly with your taxes, so I can determine its value. I assume that the house is located at the address on your driver's license.
That's,
Do you have any idea how much that house is worth?
well, the tax assessment shows that it's worth 80, but really, it's worth a lot more because I've put in a new kitchen, I finished the basement, I redid the bathroom. I had a realtor come in and they said that it was probably worth $125,000.
Do you intend to retain that house?
Of course, that's my home. I didn't even want it part of the bankruptcy.
Again, while I can't give you legal advice, I'm going to suggest that you retain counsel in order to protect your interest in that house if it can be protected.
What do you mean?
Again, I cannot give you legal advice. I'm going to ask you to please try and retain an attorney, because what you say I can't do, the law provides that I may have the right to do. Whether I exercise that right or not is a different story, but I certainly need you to complete everything so that I have a complete and accurate picture of your assets and liabilities, and who has liens or who doesn't have liens against those vehicles and or the real estate. Is there any other real or personal property that you may have transferred that you haven't listed in your petition?
Well, we didn't want this as part of the bankruptcy, so we had a camp. Our family has a camp. I had about a 1/3 interest in it. So right before we filed, I transferred my interest to my brother, so it wouldn't be part of the bankruptcy.
Where is that camp?
St. Lawrence, Alex Bay.
And it is about how long before you file?
About a month.
Okay, I will need you to supply me with an address of the camp, and the same thing that I asked for on the house I also need, which is a copy of the deed, a copy of the tax assessment. Is there any mortgage on that property?
No, there's no mortgages on any of the properties. I mean, I owe my mom on mine, so I have a mortgage to that, and I'm gonna pay it back, and then the camp has been in our family for like years, so there's no mortgage on that either.
Well, I can only suggest that both you and your family may have a problem with regards to that camp, since that interest was transferred pre-petition, post-petition for less than fair value, and I may have to act on that.
Well, I didn't want it part of the bankruptcy.
Well, what you wanted and what you hoped for may not turn out to be actually what you desire, so we'll have to review that once I get the other papers and make a determination as to what I wish to do.
Wow, this is so much work.
Well, I'm sorry, I did not create it, and I note in reviewing your petitions that you have certain medical bills. Do you have a claim against anybody as a result of those bills? Any accident, fall down, malpractice cases, assault cases, anything of that nature?
Yeah, I was in a motorcycle accident, and yeah, I had some head trauma, and I just, maybe that's why I didn't fill out this paperwork right, because I don't know, but I've missed so much work already, and I'm not even working full-time,
Did you retain an attorney in regards to this motorcycle
Oh, yeah,
accident?
oh, yeah.
Can you tell me his name, please?
Joe Wilkinson, there's no lawsuit though. There's no lawsuit. He said he didn't think there would need to be a lawsuit, that we could settle this.
But you do have a claim,
Yes.
and you did not list that claim in your bankruptcy petitions as an asset, did you?
Well, no, because there's no lawsuit.
Okay, I understand your position. Are you entitled to receive any inheritance as a result of anyone's death?
No, but, like I was saying, my mom is not doing well, and, if you contact her, it may kill her. And, I wanted to get this bankruptcy done before she died because, my siblings and I are going to split $1 million policy. There's other assets, so I wanted to get this all done because Mom, she wouldn't want my money going to payroll creditors. I mean, she wants it owed me.
I understand your mother's desires, and they're certainly natural for a mother, but whether or not those desires can be fulfilled in view of your actions is another issue, but again, that's a bridge we'll cross on a later date. I noticed that you're wearing a diamond ring on your left hand.
Yeah?
Was that an engagement ring or a wedding ring or anything of that nature?
Oh, it's an engagement ring.
In going through the schedule of assets in your petition and schedules, I don't see that ring listed anywhere.
Well, it's a gift. I mean, I didn't use any credit to get it. It was just a gift, so I don't, that's not part of, if I used it with a credit card or something or bought it myself, but this was a gift, so.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask you to turn over that ring to me so that I can have it appraised. Depending on value, you may or may not receive it back. Again, I'm going to ask you and advise you to please try to retain an attorney because you've got a lot of problems on that on your hands at this point. Please have the ring.
You can't take that. You can't.
I'm sorry, I really don't want to have to ask the security guards to come in and escort you out and remove the ring, so would you please voluntarily give it to me? It's on the record that I have received it. I will keep it in safekeeping until such time as I have it appraised and come to a determination as to whether or not it's an asset of the estate that should be sold and delivered to creditors.
I gotta get out of this bankruptcy. This is not what I expected.
I'm almost done. Please try and control yourself. I know this is difficult. You didn't expect it. Have you lived continuously in the state of New York for the last 2 years?
Yes.
Do you have any further questions?
No, I don't.
At this point, I'm going to adjourn it to July 25th at 2 o'clock. I will supply you prior to that date, after I review the record of the transcript of what we talked about today, with all of the information and all of the questions that I asked you today. I'll ask you to bring that information out, bring that information in as to the answers to the questions, and provide me with all the documentation that you would not have provided me And hopefully before that date, you can retain an attorney, amend your schedule so that they correctly reflect all of your assets and liabilities, and we can deal with it on a proper basis because we cannot do so today. I strongly recommend you be at the next meeting with your counsel. That's all I have for today. Does
Excuse me,
anybody-
would I be allowed to attend the next?
Oh, absolutely, you're a creditor, you have an
Because we
absolute
may
right
have
to
some more
attend
questions.
and ask any questions that you wish at
Thank
that
you.
adjourned meeting. I am not closing the meeting, I'm keeping it open as a calendar matter, so we can determine what your answers will be and what the documents will show at the next meeting of creditors. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I do. I got in the mail some kind of notice of deficiency from the court about a credit counseling course and then something about pay advices. Do you know what that's about?
I do know what it's about. The law requires you to attend and take that educational course. Without it, you cannot receive a discharge. Again, I cannot be in a position of giving you legal advice, so for the probably 14th time today, I'm going to strongly recommend that you obtain counsel to represent your interests. I also suspect that you will be receiving a letter from the Office of the United States Trustee, since they also wish to monitor cases, and it is their duty to do so, and for them to determine whether or not there's been any abuse of the provisions of the bankruptcy code. You will be hearing from them probably before the next hearing, and I will see you at the next meeting, and I believe that's it for today. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm glad that's over.
Well, it's over for today, but please don't forget the adjourned meeting and the documents that I requested, and you will receive a letter. And again, as I stated on the record earlier, I will retain this ring until I determine the estate's interest in it. Thank you very much. Appreciate your coming. Thank you. Have a good day.